Webinar is brought to you by USB Certification, a leading certification body in textile and recycling programs. We are operating with textile exchange programs, GOTS, SFA, and of course, Better Cotton. I will be one of the presenters today as technical and quality manager. My colleague Emre from Audit and Certification will help us to understand Better Cotton, and Mert will present updates on textile exchange and GOTS programs. If you have any questions after this webinar, you can contact us at info@usbcertification.com. This webinar will be recorded, and together with the slides, it will be shared with the participants. Our agenda for today will be updates on sustainability regulations. Then Mert will go over brand certification for textile exchange and GOTS programs. And Emre will assist you with brand certification for Better Cotton. So here are some exciting updates on sustainability regulations, mainly EU regulation. I'm sure most of you will be familiar with the Eco-Design Directive, which is called ESPR, Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation. For those who are uninitiated, I'll provide some background information. It's one of the directives that is at the heart of the European Commission's approach to achieve environmental, sustainable, and circular products. And you can see in three broad categories the ESPR interested in sustainability metrics from recycled content to energy use, and it's also interested in how we are going to use these materials and products more efficiently. So it's interested in upgradability, reusability, reliability, and of course, repairability. But as a last resort, what is the possibility of recycling and what is the possibility of recovery? So there are some tools that European Union will use to promote the Eco-Design Directive. One of them is going to be, of course, green public procurement. So all government institutions will have a target of at least 50% procurement of products that are manufactured according to ESPR. There's also another assisting legislation that is coming up. The companies have to disclose the number of unsold products on an annual basis, because there's going to be a ban on the destruction of unsold textiles and footwear. And this is, of course, applicable to large and medium-sized companies. And of course, EU will start a market surveillance to control application of this legislation. So if we look at the timeline here, ESPR was introduced last June, and it entered into force. But at the same time, to facilitate the implementation, or to put in another words, to have expert groups discuss and come to a conclusion about how these regulations will be implemented, the Eco-Design Forum was established in October. The first expert groups actually came together in January, and there's a link there. So if you're interested in the outcome of these work groups, you can use that link. But the one that is relevant for textile is for the prohibition on the destruction of apparel and footwear. Mainly, the working group worked on derogations for this prohibition and what are the materials that will be exempt from this directive. Towards the end of second quarter of this year, EU working groups will release a 3-year working plan to implement ESPR, and priority will be given to intermediate products such as iron, steel, and aluminum, and of course, final products and textiles, meaning garments and footwear, are some of those priority products. So towards the end of this year, digital product passport registry will be introduced, not as implementation wise, but how it will be regulated. And there's going to be more details coming up on the service providers that will actually serve the data, who are going to be the data carriers, and digital credentials for all stakeholders, meaning the suppliers of data as well. So in 2026, the adoption of first ESPR measures will be seen, including textiles and steel. And first product requirements is anticipated to be implemented in 2027 or 2028. When we're talking about ESPR, we have to go a little deep into digital product passport. Again, for those who don't know what it is, it's a digital identity card that will be on products. It can be accessible in any way as QR codes or NFC. But the idea is that this digital identity card will store relevant information to support product sustainability and promote its circularity. So what are some data points that we may see there? It's the technical performance of the product, materials and their origins, how it can be repaired or how it can be recycled can be there. And the idea is to increase environmental sustainability. Of course, it's going to be one of the pivotal tools to promote circularity. And of course, it will be used by EU regulations to support legal compliance. And it will be accessible electronically by all stakeholders, meaning consumers, manufacturers, and authorities. And authorities will, of course, use it as a checking tool. So here's the timeline for DPP, or Digital Product Passport. The first working plan is anticipated to be prepared in the next upcoming weeks, and in the December of this year, the data structure or data standardization will be completed. At the beginning of next year, in 2026, there's going to be a delegated act that is going to be published, and it will give 18 months for companies to implement DPP. In July 2026, European Union will set up a digital registry, which will serve as a centralized storage for all DPP data. And it's anticipated that in mid-2027, DPP for textile will come into force, meaning that all products in these categories will be mandated to be compliant with a digital product passport. And of course, another two of the pivotal directives in EU are Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive and Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive, or as we call it, CSDDD. CSDDD is a regulation that requires large companies to identify, prevent, and mitigate both human rights and environmental impacts of their operations and value chains. It entered into force in July 5, 2024. And the key objectives are to give responsibility to companies, to promote, of course, sustainable manufacturing, and to find remedies for those who are affected. CSRD is another regulation, and it's used just like the financial disclosure directives. This is for ESG to disclose their ESG reporting in a standardized format. So it came into force to enhance reporting, to have a quality and consistency that is comparable to other reporting regulations of EU. And it also wants to help stakeholders such as investors or consumers to make informed decisions. And also, another key objective is that it wants companies to incorporate sustainability into their strategy and risk management strategies. So there has been updates about these two directives, and the reason behind it is because of the work program of EU. In February, European Commission released their work program for 2025, and the title is Moving Forward Together, a Bolder, Simpler, Faster Union. Why? Because they want to make EU a competitive marketplace globally. And the idea here is that they want to eliminate unfair competition, high energy costs, labor and skill shortages, among other things. And also, all stakeholders are asking for rules that are simpler to follow and easily actionable. In February 26th of this year, a proposal was set in motion to postpone reporting requirements that is set in the CSRD. And in April 3rd, European Parliament adopted the proposal. So what's next? The Parliament needs a formal approval by the Council, which is expected to be done in the upcoming days. So what has changed with this new amendment, this omnibus of amendments to the two directives? First of all, the transposition deadline for member states are delayed from 1 year, from July 2026 to July 2027. Meaning that all EU member countries will have to adopt into their legislation. And application, or as you may call it, the implementation deadline for Wave 1 companies will be July 2028 from now on. What are Wave 1 companies? These are EU companies with more than 3,000 employees and 900 million in turnover, or non-EU companies that are generating such net turnover in EU. And in July 2029, the Wave 2 companies are required to implement these. And these are all other companies that are within the scope of these directives. So there's actually a change in scope as well. From now on, it will be applicable to companies with over 1,000 employees or a turnover above 50 million or a balance sheet total above 25 million. And there's a revision for the European sustainability standards as well. The number of data points are reduced. There are major clarifications done in ESRS. And there's a lot more consistency with other pieces of legislation. So these are the exciting new updates in the regulation landscape. Now I'm gonna turn back to my colleague Mert to give us some updates on brand certification for textile exchange and GOTS programs.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, for your explanations. Sorry.
Just let me get it.
Slide'ı paylaşır mısınız? again. So next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. So prior to providing you requirements for textile exchange and GOTS programs, I would like to go over briefly about certification flow for textile exchange and GOTS standards. So as you can see, for any product-related claims on final products intended for sale to customers, certification is required up to the brand. In textile, certification begins from farm and also from plastics, which is you can see in here raw material input. So from farm and raw material input, according to until the brand, all the supply chain actors must be certified under these standards. So how we are verifying this certification? We are going to audits and we are giving companies, firms a scope certificate, and also these claimed materials will be traceable, must be traceable with transaction certificates. And after brand, there is no need to issuing any transaction certificates up to customer or retailer, and also the retailer and consumers doesn't need to get a scope certificate for these standards. Next slide, please. But again, in some conditions, brands also needs to be certified under rules of these standards. So in textile exchange programs, making a claim on a final product requires certification under the relevant standard. So if you would like to use any textile exchange programs logo, it can be GRS or OCS for organic products. You need to go under an audit and you need to get your own scope certificate for your products, which you intend to use standard program logo. And in GOTS, there's a little bit differences. So certification is mandatory in GOTS, where you would like to use your own license number and standard logo on your final products. Next slide, please. And in textile exchange, if we go deeper for brand certification, there are certain differences for certification between brands and supply chain actors. There are 4 topics in here. So first of all, first exemption is brands are exempted from environmental and social requirements under the GRS standard of textile exchange, and also warehouses of brands which is storing brands' final products are also exempted from environmental and social requirements for the GRS standard. And as I said in the previous slide, there is no TC issuance needed after the brand. It is sufficient for the companies that will claim with the standard logo in the final products of the brands to register the relevant products with transaction certificates. And also most of the brands using 3PLs. So 3PL companies that distribute the brand's final products are exempt from being audited. And as a final, remote audits can be performed on brand offices and warehouses storing finished products according to risk levels. For brands, we doesn't need to check any risk level. All the brand offices which doesn't taking physical possession of the claim materials, there are no need to be conducting any audit. But for warehouses, we need to check the risk levels, and if our warehouses is in a low risk category, we can conduct a remote audit to your warehouses for textile exchange standards. Next slide, please. And most of you know, Textile Exchange gathers all its standard programs for GRS, RCS, and RAF standards, except OCS. They are gathering all programs under a single standard, which is called Materials Matters Standard. And why it is important for you? Once Textile Exchange switches to this new program, which is Material Matters Standard, your claims about the standard will change accordingly. So once we check the product claims under this Material Matters Standard, for Material Matters Standard, I think it's important. So it is still on the pilot scheme, but these informations are not final yet, just for your information. So if we check here, 30% for Materials Matter certified single material claims. For example, if you are using only wool or recycled polyester or down, disposable down, it is only for 30% materials for single material claims, and 50% for Materials Matter certified blended claims, which meaning is containing more than one certified material in your final products or your interpreted products. And there's a example table in here for single material standard. As I said before, minimum threshold will be 30%. And if we check the examples, product contains 30% Materials Matter certified recycled cotton, will be okay to make claims on this Material Matter standards, and also fields made of 100% Materials Matter certified down also will be okay. If we check the blended materials, which means it's more than one certified material, product contains 25% Materials Matter certified wool, and if you add 25% Materials Matter certified recycled polyester, it will be okay. Again, you can make your claims on these products. Sorry. And also, as another information, if you use 40% recycled cotton, and if you use 40% wool on your products, it will be okay to make claim under Material Matters standard. And beside of that, Textile Exchange, what is the role Textile Exchange in also eco-design? Textile Exchange has been appointed as a member of Eco-Design Forum. It is an expert group established by the European Commission to support the implementation of the Eco-Design for Sustainable Product Regulation. Textile Exchange as a member contribute input to European Commission on the development of eco-design requirements such as recycled content targets and the preparation of ACPR work plans. And during this meeting, which is held in February 2025, the European Commission emphasized that its current top priority is apparel textiles. So it was noted footwear and home textiles are expected to be included second roadmap and scheduled for 2030. Okay, next slide, please. And if we check the GOTS requirements for brand certification, first of all, actually, GOTS doesn't identify brands as a brands. For GOTS, brands equal to retail groups, actually, retailers. So in GOTS, there are no brand definition. And what is these retail groups? Retail groups is affiliated or contractually linked companies, all of which are wholly owned subsidiaries and serve the sole purpose of retailing for the same brand. So as we said before, in GOTS, also brands doesn't need to undergo any audit or certification, but if they want to again certified, GOTS published a document which is called Advisory for Retail Groups. You can see in the link in here too. After we share the slides, you can click and you can also, if you want to check in detail, you can find the link there. If you would like to certify beside of the supply chain actors in GOTS, actually in supply chain actors, most of supply chain actors must be audited on-site audit. But for these for retail groups, remote audits can be performed for all or some of the retailers facilities based on the certifiers, which is certification bodies, risk assessments. So what we are checking in there actually, first of all, as a CB, we are checking the country of your sites located according to country risk level. It's one of the risk categories that we are checking. And also we are checking if you are physically owned these materials in your units. So according to that, we are doing our risk assessments and we are deciding to conduct your audit whether remotely or on-site. Next slide, please. Sorry. And beside of the certification requirements of these brands, GOTS also have a role in circular economy approach. So in GOTS version 8, the new standard to be published by GOTS includes a comprehensive approach on how brands will implement sustainability and circular economy principles in the future. So in this context, they divide these circular economy approach up to 5 topics, which is eco-design strategies, material selection, end-of-life solution and services, circularity data management, and monitoring and reporting mechanisms. And we will check detailing what these topics in next slides. Next slide, please. Yeah, first of all, eco-design strategies. In GOTS version 8, brands are expected to adopt design approaches that prioritize sustainability throughout the product lifecycle, which is durability. Your products must be durable. Repairability. Your products must be repairable. And the end of this eco-design strategies, the products also needs to contain a recyclability. So once you produce your products according to these topics, you need to design your products according to these 3 topics. Yeah, next slide, please. And in material selection, GOTS also expects from the brands to use their materials according to these 3 topics or articles actually. So for your products, your products needs to contain and needs produced according to certified organic fibers. Your products need to include certified organic fibers, which is cellulosic fibers, can be. And also your inputs needs to be free from hazardous chemicals. So while you are producing your products, it should be free from hazardous chemicals. And also your products needs to contains a recycled materials. Next slide, please. And as a third topic of circular economy, end-of-life solutions and services. So GOTS encourages brands to design with clear end-of-life pathways in mind within this new version of GOTS. So while you are designing your products, also brands needs to establish take-back programs, and also these brands also provide a repair and reuse services, and also recycling infrastructure needs to be done. And main goal in here is measures extend product life and reduce the textile waste. And next slide, please. And as a fourth topic, circularity data management. Also, brands should implement systems that enable access to essential data for circularity stakeholders. So first of all, material composition details. You need to be informed the consumer about your material composition details on your website or etc. And you need to provide a post-use traceability after these final products is used by the end consumer. Also, it should be tracked after usage. And as a final, in the circularity data management, digital product passport solutions is a good approach for circularity economy approach by brands and is expected from by GOTS from brands in GOTS version 8. And next slide, please. And as a final, it is monitoring and reporting mechanisms. So to ensure effectiveness and continuous improvements, circularity and eco-design efforts must be tracked and reported. So again, there are three topics in there. Performance indicators, and brands should periodic reporting in their websites again maybe, or brands should share their report in their web page. And also you need to do ongoing improvement plans for your circular economy, and while you're designing your final products, you need to be cautious about these three articles. And next slide, please, Shirley. And that was all from my side about brand requirements in Textile Exchange and GeoTest program. Right now, Mr. Emre will explain to you about brand certification for Better Cotton. Thank you for listening to me, and please, Mr. Emre.
Thank you, Mert. Now let's discuss about a bit for Better Cotton, because Better Cotton is already entering for the brand certification. Now I would like to explain briefly what is expecting from the Better Cotton side and which claims you are expecting from the Better Cotton, and after that, why Better Cotton continue with this brand certification requirements. I would like to be summarize a bit. When we talk about the brand certification in Better Cotton, actually we are referring to brands now being officially included within the scope of the chain of custody system. So this marks a big step forward for Better Cotton. Brands will need to meet traceability and management system requirements, just like ginners, spinners, and or fabric mills or manufacturers have doing for years. This change reinforces the credibility of the claims and made a consumer level helps to create a more connected accountability system across the full cotton value chain for the Better Cotton. Ali, please, next slide. Actually, why is Better Cotton introducing the brand certification? As you can see on the screen, the Better Cotton has submitted feedback to the European Union proposal for a directive on the sustainable and commitment of explicit environmental claims and green claims directive. Better Cotton welcomes to actually EU's leadership in driving the efforts of the standardize the requirements on sustainable communication. and it's open to support authorized that they refine the proposed legislation following their request for an input. And by the way, in the same time, assurance and monitoring producers, business and consumers alike, depending on integrity of the better cotton, claims as a trusted mechanism that connect improve the practice at the farm with the market demand. Better Cotton oversees the use of claims and its trademark for both organizational claims and certification claims in line with our monitoring protocol, and it's according with the ISIL codes, same as like the other programs, you know, the ISIL, and this includes the proactive monitoring for both the used trademarks and the Better Cotton label across physical, in-store production, packaging, online product page, and promotional marketing material. Better Cotton also used the market surveillance and the web crawlers to detect claims which do not conform with the claim frameworks, in addition to conducting the transaction reviews on the BCP to identify case of the misuses. So, Ali, could you go the other slide, please? Yeah. So, COC version 1.1 is currently only applicable for brands. So for the rest of 2025, you can see everyone else who is not a brand will get certified against the previous COC standard version 1.0. From January 2026, all audit will be against the COC 1.1. One key point, it's important in here, COC 1.0 outputs may be used as an input COC 1.1 and it's vice versa. For the rest of 2025, everyone else who's not a brand will get certified against previous COC standard. Only brands will get certified against version 1.1 for the moment, as the transition is not required for that. Next slide, please. Three main definitions for brand side, brand central function, brand affiliate sites, and warehousing and distribution center. You can see on the screen, this brand central function is the main site or headquarters, we could say, and affiliate site, a subsidiary or associated office that operates under the name of the same brand, same common ownership, and warehousing and distribution sites, that's the same like the other program with COC perspective, a site that takes the physical possession of the better cotton for storage and distribution without engaging in any processing or transforming. So Ali, please, next slide. Brand hosting, brand warehousing and distribution. Which part, how to conduct the warehouse and distribution audit actually to be summarized in here. The complaint has been raised pertaining to traceability of the product at specific sites. An unsuccessful traceability exercise occurs during the audit or monitoring that indicates a traceability risk in the warehousing and distribution sites operation, or the site warehousing or distribution sites are also conducts processing or manufacturing activities for certified products. Within these three conditions, audit needs to be done for the warehousing and distribution center according to Better Cotton brand certification. Otherwise, there is no need to be audited for warehousing and distribution centers for brand certification. Next slide, please, Adi. The Better Cotton has launched standard version 1.1. The first one is the introduction. The second clause is the management system requirements, purchasing material, receipt, storage, and the production, sales and goods out, volume reconciliation, chain of custody, supply chain models, and requirements for the brands. When you see the green in the screen, so that means the brand is responsible for this clause for the brand auditing. So now we will go one by one and discuss about a bit detail of these requirements. Next slide, please, Ali. So now let's discuss about brands need to do from a system management perspective. First, each organization must appoint a management representative and define clear roles for key personnel. This helps with the accountability and ensure the standard is consistently applied. Training is another critical aspect. A training plan must be developed, reviewed annually, and then all relevant staff, especially those entering the data in the Better Cotton, it's important, must be trained accordingly. And finally, record keeping all documentation relevant to COC compliant must be now in the stored for at least 3 years. Not as the 2 years, because version 1.0 says the 2 years, but version 1.1 is expected from at least 3 years. Better Cotton believes that this aligns with the updated certification cycle and supports traceability. Next slide, please, Ali. Yeah, the other one is the for 3 different important management requirements. It's the compliance. Every organization must have a formal process to receive, assess, and resolve compliance related to the implementation of the COC standards. The next, control of the non-conforming production. So this means any cotton that hasn't been verified as the Better Cotton cannot be sold or labeled as such as finally as such. And finally, it's the outsourcing. The last part is the outsourcing. So the organization now needs to inform their CV before they begin any outsourcing activities. And the new rules restricted subcontracting within the same corporate group to avoid conflict of interest or traceability gaps. This one is a common requirement for all the supply chain model, including for the brands. So that's why, for example, most of the brands maybe not use any outsource, but in the end of the day, brand has to be aware of these requirements and prepare themselves, their audit according to this, any kind of outsourcing of any kind of requirements. One of them is the defined by the Better Cotton. So next slide, please, Ali. Self-assessment. Better Cotton expect the internal control mechanism are strengthened under version 1.1. The organization must now conduct a self-assessment each year. The new requirement, it's come from version 1.1. It's the important. The assessment will directly sent to CB, which CB you certified. Your assessment, initial assessments should be sent directly to the CB, not for the Better Cotton. And last one is the management review for on the slides. We could say the annual meeting should go beyond the formality. They are meant to do review audit outcomes, compliance, corrective action, system change, and the resource needed to keep improving. Next slide, please, Ali. And purchasing, material receipt and storage, and the production. Let's summarize with 1 or 2 sentences for these requirements. When the purchasing cotton organization must document their supplier properly, the names, contact, what products they supply, and which COC model. It's also accepted for, it should be in the material recipient storage and production and purchasing also. And the other one is upon receiving the material, they must collect and file documents confirming who supplied what, when, how much, and what supply chain model. It's the crucial information for the brands, because the brands should make a monitoring their subcontractor in their producing unit, and these requirements should know brand and verified also with the internal audit or audited with the Better Cotton audits. Next slide, please, Ali. Storage and production. Also, it's important for the production side. The cotton is received, it has to be stored and processed in a way that maintains its identity, especially for segregation and control blending models. The key here is to avoid confusion, prevent any unintentional mixing of the better cotton with conventional cotton, especially if both are handled in the same facilities. Next slide, please, Ali. And sales and outputs, we could say there's a new very important rule coming here. For the better cotton cannot be doubled claimed with another certification, such as regenerative or organic. This is to avoid misleading consumers and maintain trust in the better cotton labeling. This is a new and critical requirement for upcoming. Next one, please, Ali. And requirements for the brands. This is the requirements coming one by one for the better cotton, and it will be published mid of the April, if I don't remember wrongly. So the brand must keep the all detailed list of the warehousing and distribution centers where physical better cotton is stored. They also need to demonstrate the traceability and meaning they can show how batches flow through the system from intake to storage output to shipment. These may involve checking if the ERP data matches or physical records, whatever you have, this could be match. And this is the requirement for 7.1.1, 1.1, 1.3. Let's go the other slide, Ali, please. The claims. The claims, actually one of the key point and important part for the Better Cotton brand certification. Making claims about Better Cotton at product level now comes with more stricter rules, we could say. Brands must have a valid scope certificate and signed trademark license agreement in a place before making any product level claims. This ensures that only eligible product can carry the Better Cotton message and that all claims are credible and verifiable. You see on the presentation, use of the Better Cotton label is reserved for the certification brand who have signed the license agreement. And then you see the screen of the two Better Cotton claims. One of them is the mass balance, the other one is the traceable. This one is the important requirement. No brand shall using the content claim the brand label prior to the certification being awarded. This is the one of the key point. Next slide, please, Ali. And again, 2.2.2, it's about the claims. All new product level claims. This includes the artwork and any text accompanying with them must be submitted to Better Cotton claims team for review and approval before going to the market, and not the CB. The new product claim, the new artwork has approved by the Better Cotton claims team. This pre-approval process ensures that the messages are aligned, consistent, and not misleading to consumers. The next one, Ali, please. So brand needs to put control into place, ensure that the only eligible products are labeling, such as this becomes particularly important when the brands are handled both Better Cotton and conventional product or of similar design, we could say. Also, if retailers are buying these products from the brands, the brand must inform them of the applicable claim rules. This closes the loops and ensure the consistent communication at the consumer level. So next slide, please, Ali. And volume reconciliation for the brands. It's the volume reconciliation is the kind of a backbone of the traceability. Brands must maintain accurate, up-to-date records to show that the amount of the labeled Better Cotton product sold does not exceed what was the purchased or held in inventory. Each year, volume summary report must be prepared and submitted to show that all volumes reconciliation. This is crucial for both compliance and transparency. Next slide, please, Ali. I have only 2 slides remain, if I remember correctly. No, this is the last one. You see the new BCI cotton labeling. You see on the screen the foster trust and the label and the what representative. We have Better Cotton introduced a new strict requirements for this use, and only brands and retailers sourcing through the traceability solution, and which shows the country of the origin and the full supply chain journey, will be allowed to use this label. You see it on the screen, the new label for the Better Cotton, and this enhance the visibility, ensures the accountability, and reinforce the value behind the Better Cotton message for the Better Cotton COC standard version 1.1. I just would like to express the critical point. What is the Better Cotton version for version 1.1 for the brands? Now, thank you for joining, and I'm giving the speech to Ali for the closing.
Thank you very much, Emre, and I'd like to thank all our participants for joining this webinar. There will be others in the future, and you'll be notified via email. If you have any questions, concerns, or feedback about this webinar, please reach us at info@usbcertification.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.